Howdy, every pony. This is Silver Eagle with Ponyville Live, and we are here at Fiesta Equestria in Houston, Texas. I'm joined by a special guest, the voice of Gilda, Miss Marÿke Hendrikse.
Nice.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us about your experience, well, in particular, your role with My Little Pony. Now, your role is Gilda.
Yes.
Now, and the thing that a lot of the fans, may or may not know is, and then that we've observed, is that despite being, such a villainous character, you're actually a remarkably pleasant person.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
As far as people go, you don't reflect the personality. I'm sure that you can reflect the voice.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I can, I can certainly go there.
Yeah.
But I don't go there in real life.
Sure.
Very rarely.
Sure. How did you feel about that, playing that kind of character?
For me, I really think villains are interesting.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that most actors would say the same. There's a lot of stuff going on with villains and finding, some reasons as a subtext sometimes about why they behave the way they do is
the
really,
underlying, what made them go
what
villain.
made them go bad, go to the bad side. When you play, for me, when I play, because I do play sort of not nice characters,
right,
from time to time,
sure,
probably more regularly than some people, and you just have to do it. You just have to go for it. You cannot make apologies. You just have to play it. You have to be in that brain and in that mindset and in that personality and just go.
Right.
You can't worry about what the reaction is going to be afterwards. I always say this, like when I on the panels, because I get asked similar types of about playing a villain and what's that like.
Yeah.
I knew when there was this thing about Fluttershy and I thought it's not going to go over well. But you can't predict that reaction, and you can't play for that. You can't be apologetic, or it doesn't work.
Well, that's part of the effect.
It is.
Otherwise you wouldn't convey that is a villain.
That's right.
Unless you
gotta go
correctly fulfilled the role,
Yeah.
and actually really were just a downright mean.
Yep, totally.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it's one of the more interesting character development points, though, because it also helps bring out some of the traits in the protagonists, that they're able to sort of stick together, and that, Rainbow Dash shows her loyalty and things like that. So there's good developmental moments nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. It's something good for the other, like the good people, to be able to be able to show their sides and like you said, collaborate and work together and figure out how to how to deal with somebody like that, which is useful in real life. Not everybody's sweet and apple pie in real life, and you got to figure out how to deal with those kinds of people.
That's true.
So.
Conflict management.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And this is a cartoon example of it, for sure, of joining together to stamp out bullying.
Yep.
In a sense, it really was a bullying episode.
Oh, it absolutely was. Actually, my husband watched it for the first time not that long ago and was like, "That's awful." And I was, I was a bully, and he was like, "Yeah, but it was like really bad." And I said, "Okay, but that's what they wrote." I don't know what else to say.
Sure.
Funny.
Yeah. I mean,
he's shocked though, because he,
yeah,
the whole theme of the show and
that it had that,
that it had that level of meanness was shocking for him.
It has been surprising in the show that we've seen the occasional deviation into just outright wow.
Yep.
Like we've been offended almost for the characters. Like we've been like,
how did she possibly do that?
Because Fluttershy turns the tables, right? She gets bullied in this case, but then she turns into Iron Will, Iron Will's subject of teaching, and then says, essentially says, nobody likes your life goals. It's very terrifying. It's just, you just look at it and go, what in the world?
Yeah.
What in the world? So very interesting to think about there. But and it also shows the the show's range of writing style and development,
and that the writers are willing to go there,
right,
and not just everything doesn't have to be cupcakes and shiny skies all the time.
It's not all tea parties and crying.
No,
it is, and that's specifically what Lauren said. When she first envisioned it, she said it was a very specific point. That the show was not. We all solve our parties by tea parties, by crying together. We actually step out and be assertive and fix it and things like that.
That's good.
Good qualities to have in a show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So is this your first convention that you've been to?
Second convention.
Second convention. That's a common theme too. Now, was the first one BronyCon?
No, the first one was Las Pegasus Unicon.
Oh, that's right. Which
everyone loves when I say that.
Oh,
Everyone's
my
like,
goodness.
there's a generalized look It's either or
Another survivor.
yeah.
We all find each other in the rubble every once in a
Yes.
while, and kind of it's like, well, you made it. So glad to hear. And particularly glad to hear that you've made it back.
Thank you.
Into,
It's great
you know.
to be here, and it's such a nice, just generally a nice atmosphere.
Right. Yeah. And now, have you found Fiesta Equestria to be just a enjoyable experience?
Yeah, totally. Really well run from my perspective. And I've been, other than the only MLP con that I'd been to before this, obviously we just spoke about, but I've been to conventions,
Right.
for anime work.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been great. Everybody's been sweet and helpful and attentive, like really great. So organized, and things happening when they should be happening, and very flexible also with some of the needs of the actors and stuff like that. It's been lovely.
Yeah. I mean, you all have had a very packed schedule. As far as interactions with the fans, and so I know a lot of the fans have had a lot of opportunity to get to talk with you in panels and things like that. I know that there were several voice actor panels, right? I know
There were, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've done 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Something like
so
that.
excellent opportunities to have people sit down and really ask you what's on their mind.
And that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I actually sometimes would, and there's gonna be somebody that's gonna kill me for saying this, but I would sometimes like the panels to be longer
Really?
than an hour.
Really?
Now it doesn't always work. It depends on the amount of crowd that's there and
Schedules and things, yeah.
schedules. But I could certainly do an hour and a half panel. Like I said, someone's gonna kill me. One of the actors is gonna be like, "You really said that, Marÿke?"
So
I like that part.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I know a lot of people. When they're in those panels, they feel like they could go on forever, right? If somebody asks you a really fascinating question, a topic that's true to your heart, or near to your heart.
Yeah.
That's something that people who are passionate about it want to talk about.
Yes,
By all
absolutely.
means. But at least you had a number of panel opportunities.
We had a lot of, and I hope that the fans that came were able to ask their questions and have them answered if they wanted to do so.
Absolutely. What other types of roles have you done besides My Little Pony?
Across my career, I've been acting now for I think it's close to 25 years professionally, and so I've worked across genres, all genres, pretty much. Film and television, like episodic TV, feature film, not a lot of either, but still. Commercial, lots of commercials, on-camera commercials. I've done industrial videos.
Industrial videos,
Yep.
like training videos and things like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice,
Yep.
nice.
I've done tons of theater, from small little experimental plays or readings to big shows.
Big productions.
Big productions, massive productions, and then animation and radio commercials and TV voiceover commercials.
Goodness.
So it's been a lot.
Wow.
But over the last 8 years or so, I've just focused on voiceover. So I've done a lot of roles in anime, and also Saturday morning. Like there's a show that I've been doing that's been very successful. It's called Johnny Test, and I play Susan, who's the nerdy one. There's the twin girls. She's the one with the straight hair, not the cool one with the ponytail.
Oh, okay. All
So-
right. So the nerdy one.
The nerdy one, the very type A personality, likes to yell.
Really?
Yeah, she gets annoyed when things aren't going precisely perfectly, and always has a bunch of zany ideas. She's great. I love playing her.
Interesting. Very good. Very good. So, how many of these other roles? We always try to figure out in the community how we compare to other fan bases, and in a lot of our cases, this is the first thing we've done that you can call a fandom. Right? We weren't Trekkies. We didn't go
Yes.
to Comic-Con.
Yeah, most people are
before.
too young.
Right, yeah. I mean,
to
part
really
of
be
this is our
super
new
into.
generation's fan base type thing. How would you say it compares the fan response?
Well, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I've been to anime conventions, and there is a big, strong fan base in anime.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But this type of thing, I've never quite seen anything like this before, and that's what I explain to friends of mine. Lots of friends that I have that aren't actors, and I explain. I just say it's kind of like Star Trek. It's kind of like Trekkies. That's what these conventions are like, and that's what the enthusiasm for the project, for the show is. It's almost at, I don't think it's quite there, but it's almost that level.
Yeah. It's not as mature.
That's true. Yeah, I suppose.
In terms of time,
And
right?
yeah,
It's still a young it hasn't
movement.
established itself quite like that,
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah.
So I sort of that's how I equate it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. John Delancey said the same thing.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, he would certainly know, right?
Right. Yeah, because he's in the Star Trek community.
Yeah.
And he's been to those things.
Q.
And he said actually there are a lot of he was Q. Yeah. And I know a lot of parallels between those two roles too. Yeah, for sure. Discord and Q. Do you guys have you ever done a panel that was all the villains? Was that I guess Las Pegasus? You were both there.
I didn't do a panel with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that would have been kind of clever.
That would have been very clever, like a villain panel.
Right. And you all get together and do your most menacing acts.
Yeah, seriously. That would be cool. Yeah.
It was a neat idea. Food for thought. Future convention planners.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So what is next? What are you excited about that you're working on in the future?
The usual annoying actor blurb of some things I can't talk about. And that's true.
That's okay. That's right.
I know you guys are used to hearing that.
Yeah, we're
right?
used to hearing that. Well, we always try to, we don't want to spoil the fun.
Yeah,
like we were just
exactly.
saying with Peter.
But I can talk about something. There's a new iteration or version or whatever you want to call it of Sabrina the Teenage Witch that comes out I think it starts airing in September.
Really?
And
That's a classic.
It's a classic.
Wow.
And so it was kind of cool to be working on that. We recorded it in Vancouver, but Ashley Tisdale, who is from the High School Musical,
Right.
that's how most people know her.
Right.
She plays Sabrina.
Is she one of the big Disney people?
She is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
So she played Ashley. She played Ashley in her real life. She played Sabrina, and then I play one of her girlfriends. And
Really?
I play somebody else, but I won't say what that is because I don't think
It's a
any of
plot
that.
point.
It's a plot point.
Okay.
And we really enjoyed doing that, so we just wrapped that.
Wow.
I'm still working on the last.
And is this a live action?
No,
thing?
it's animation.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I should have made that clear. Yeah, it's animation.
Okay.
And then I'm working on another cartoon which I can't talk about. And then we just finished. Although we still have some pickups, I think, for Johnny Test season 6, which starts airing. Actually, it might be starting airing in the fall too, but I don't remember.
Interesting.
You'd have to look that up. And that's it for now. I'm the voice. Like if you call West Edmonton Mall, I'm the person on hold. I'm the on hold voice of
Are you
West
really?
Edmonton Mall. Wow. And there's a few radio commercials and campaigns and things like that. Ad campaigns for radio that I'm on currently. So.
Sure. Now you mentioned you've done theater production. Did you get your start in theater? Was that the precursor?
I think probably yes. The basic answer to that is yes. Because I went to ballet school, professional ballet school.
Really?
And we had a performing youth company within the ballet school. And I had a lot of stage experience and performance etiquette and how to behave and how to be professional within that. And that was very significant for my career. And then I started doing film and TV during that time. And then I really, when I graduated from finished ballet school and high school, and then I started working primarily in theater. I did that for years. So yeah, I'd say probably that would be my main.
And then you expanded out into voice acting and things like that. But yeah. Now it's actually a fairly common theme that I'm seeing as well. That people tend to, once they get into voice acting, they tend to find they like it enough that they tend to just build a career around it, and make that the remainder of what they work on mostly. A lot of people have mentioned that it's more relaxing than theater. Yeah, like an order of magnitude more relaxing, right? It's just it's 100 times.
Yeah,
because you're not on stage.
You're not on stage. You don't have to worry about you have to come to the theater and you have to prepare in a different way. You've got to you've got costume and hair and makeup and stuff like that. And depending on the type of costume or hair and or makeup you have, you can have to get to the theater quite a bit of time.
Right.
You do 8 shows a week.
Right.
And I mean, when you get into a run, it's not the rehearsals are 10 to 6. 6 days a week, and depending on the size of the production, you get 2 or 3 weeks of rehearsal. Sometimes 4 if you're really lucky. So that's long.
Long stretch. Yeah.
So theater's very hard work, extraordinarily rewarding.
Right.
But it is really nice to go to the studio and work in a different way. It's really that's equally rewarding for me, and sometimes more fun.
Yeah. So, what is your what would you say from the fans? Has been your best response that you thought just really represented our community well, and the or most touching thing that you ever heard from a fan?
Well, some of the stories that other actors that have told about how someone has come up to them and said that it's changed the way that they think about the way that they'd been living their life.
Really?
Andrea told a story today that was really cool about somebody who saw Fluttershy and realized that they needed to be nicer. Which was really amazing, I think. And for me personally, I think, Gilda's not nice. I mean, she's not likable particularly, but that people still want to, talk to me about it.
Right.
And so that's, a way of embracing somebody who doesn't necessarily particularly want to be embraced, Gilda, but that there's just such a welcoming feel. And so that to me is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, hopefully you have a very pleasant remainder of your experience here at Fiesta Equestria.
Thank you. I anticipate that because it's been great so far. And we're almost, it's almost time to go home.
It is. Yeah, the convention is wrapping up here in just a few hours.
Yep.
So, we hope you have a safe trip home.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
it's our pleasure. So with Ponyville Live, this is Silver Eagle here with Marÿke Hendrikse.